As Nick comes down, I want to make sure that we are live streaming for those who would like to.
Good.
We're good? I want to say thank you, David. We don't usually get to hear you do that, and it was a great pleasure.
I don't get to do it.
So I am delighted to introduce Sarah Elovich, who came to us by the good offices of Leslie Darwin O'Brien, who they're both in an improv group together, is that correct? And Sarah has been recently a part of our writers group, so people in the writers group will already be familiar with her gifts. And I am just going to unleash her now. So please welcome Sarah.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and hello, everybody. I think I might... And hello, live stream. I understand this is how you'd like to see me, so hello, and hello. Thank you again, Elizabeth. That was very beautiful. It reminded me of growing up, my mom's side of the family, Irish Catholic, and they had a beautiful grand piano, and my cousins and I would destroy it. And then it would get retuned, and then we would come by again on Christmas and destroy it again. So what a, yes, well, what a treat to hear it played well. And thank you for having me here. I've been really enjoying the writers group, and it's such a treat to be here and to share some thoughts with you all on Hanukkah. My father's side of the family and the way that I was raised is in the Jewish faith. And I have some stories, some thoughts, and I thought perhaps maybe some enlightening ideas as well to pass along tonight. And I'll start out by saying that I am not a professionally trained Jew. I'm not a rabbi, but since rabbi does mean teacher, if I wind up passing along any ideas, you're more than welcome to call me Rabbi Sarah. My friends do. They also call me Super Jew because I'm one of the few that actually does it. I like to light the candles on Friday night for the Sabbath, and I like to welcome in the stranger and tell stories, and well, that's about as Jewish as I know how to be. But definitely being raised with the ideas of how all of our wisdom traditions weave together so many of the same values, I've really come to have a bigger perspective, I guess, about why we do some of these things, and hopefully something that I share tonight might be new and interesting to you. So I'll start out by saying that it is going to be my birthday in a couple of days, and having a December birthday that falls somewhere in Hanukkah and before Christmas and the New Year's. No one was ever around to celebrate my birthday with me, and that's okay. I always treated Hanukkah as my birthday because there's so many candles to light. And up until the age of 8 or 9 or so, I would pretend that it was my birthday when we would do Hanukkah, no matter when it was falling during the season. And we never know when it's going to happen because we Jews follow the lunar calendar, so our holidays are either early or late, but they're never on time. They're always moving all over the place, and we have to check all kinds of calendars to figure out when these holidays are happening. So the odds were usually pretty good that my birthday would fall somewhere in those 8 days of Hanukkah. And if you've ever celebrated anything like Hanukkah with anybody, maybe you've had a fried potato pancake, or we call them latkes. Maybe, actually out here in California, it's very popular to have some donuts on Hanukkah, fried in oil. Anything delicious fried in oil, it counts. Also the spinning of a dreidel, which has those 4 sides to it, and there's Hebrew letters on the side. It stands for the phrase Nes Gadol Haya Sham, which means a great miracle happened there. And I'll talk more about the miracle later. turns out those traditions are pretty modern. Frying stuff in oil, we never really had that much excess oil around in order to just fry up a whole bunch of stuff until the last few hundred years. And spinning tops, that was a very popular thing throughout Europe, all over the world actually, for gambling and playing games. And it would make sense that when it's cold outside that you would want to be inside doing something. So spinning tops is not specific to the Jewish culture either. It's just the way that they decided to do things and pass down some traditions. What I really remember about Hanukkah growing up was just having everybody around, lighting those candles, and how it felt like there was something growing, because there was. The light was growing every night, lighting another candle every night. Then later on, when I went to go teach at the Jewish Community Center, I had to actually learn what I was doing, learn what I was talking about, so I could talk about it and tell the kids what we were doing. And it turned out it's a pretty bloody, gory, war-filled story. No wonder we just talk about latkes and spinning tops. It's kind of hard. 198 years BC, where there was a lot of Hellenization going on in the land of Judah, or modern-day Israel. And there was some of the Jews were really interested in taking up some more of these sort of secular practices, becoming more Hellenized. Maybe it's not so important to celebrate the Sabbath, and maybe we don't have to sanctify the temple, and maybe we should just skip some of those kosher rules, and gosh, it seems so much easier just to be kind of a little looser. And there was another group of religious Jews that thought, that's not great. We would prefer to keep it this way and keep the temple holy. And, well, things really came to a head. And like I sometimes joke, but it's sort of painful. Jewish! It was very painful for a while there. And in the end, the Jews who wanted to keep things in a sanctified, holy way, they came together under Judah, the Maccabee, and Matisyahu, and they wound up fighting the other army, and they won, although that temple was basically destroyed in the process. When they got back to the temple, there wasn't really anything left except for, famously, enough oil to burn for just one day. Which brings me almost to the miracle. So if you've ever visited a synagogue, you'll see that in front of where the ark is, where the Torah scrolls are, there's an eternal lamp. And that's actually called a menorah, the lamp. That's the name for lamp in Hebrew is menorah. And the way that it had been classically made was fashioned out of one chunk of gold with a central piece and then 6 more pieces in the round around it. So 7 little lights that made up this golden lamp. And that had been pillaged in the war. And the soldiers who came back, they were not holy. They weren't in any good shape to clean anything up or to make anything, set anything right in the temple. They weren't even in good enough shape to make more sanctified oil. It takes 7 days to become pure again after touching objects of war. And 1 full day to make oil. So, again, I joke sometimes with my friends, to argue over the meaning of something is also very Jewish. It's probably also very human, but you've got thousands and thousands of years of argumentation through the years. What was the actual miracle? Was it the fact that there was a bit of oil left? Did the miracle happen on the first day? Did it happen on the second day? Did it happen for all 8 days? Because this oil famously burned for 8 days and not just 1 day. There's a lot of spirited argumentation through the years. Well, when was this miracle? And I'm not a rabbi, but I have an opinion. Have you ever heard the expression, one day at a time? All we have is this day. I might have enough to last me for a certain number of days, but the only day that I really have is this day. The only day that I can actually make a difference in is this day. The only moment that we have is this moment. And I think about soldiers returning from war, having fought for the right to practice the way that they have been instructed to practice more religion than the surrounding area might want them to practice, for them to have religious freedom, and to come back and to see oil left for one day, knowing that there's no way that they'll be able to keep that burning for more than one day, not knowing ahead of time what's going to happen, taking the leap of faith to light that oil anyway, to see what will happen. Instead of giving up and saying, well, it's not worth it, we might as well just skip this, go straight to purifying ourselves and then see what happens. Then we'll start a week from now. No, they made the sacrifice in the moment. They gave what they had. They gave what they could. And I think about when we take the opportunity to give the little bit that we have, how it's possible for God, Spirit, however we might call it, to come in and fill in the rest, to show us the rest of the way. After we decide, I'll take a step in the right direction. I'll give what I have. I'll do what I can. That's what I think is the miracle, to take that leap, not knowing what's going to happen next, with no guarantee. It wasn't a very popular opinion to go into a more strict way of sanctifying things and keeping things the way that they always had been, to keep things orthodox. It wasn't popular. It was difficult. It meant there was a lot of sacrifice to make. And we could argue, as everyone in my family does, and every Jewish person that I know, we could always argue about what things really mean. But if it means something inside of me, and if it helps me do something like carry the light or carry the message, then I feel like, well, that's enough. So I wanted to leave you with what the light means, especially in mystical Judaism. Let's see if I can thread this needle. Of course, in the beginning, there was a lot of chaos and darkness and a water over the face of the earth, and then God said, let there be light. I like the let there be light part of that. Allow, like a breath. In mystical Judaism, one of the reasons why to be more strict about studying all of the laws and studying the Torah is because that act itself is breaking open and revealing light. Just the act of studying the text, of keeping the Sabbath holy, that takes the klipa, that means shell or covering, and breaks it open to reveal the divine light that's inside of everything. Everything has divine light in it, according to the mystical Jewish writings. Absolutely everything. And if we take a moment to do what we can to bless it first, and look for the good inside, break it open, it releases light in the world and continues to co-create. So ironically, Hanukkah has become one of the most secularized holidays on the Jewish calendar. We have all those decorations almost seemingly to compete with Christmas in a way. But I find that to be so interesting and ironic because the holiday itself is about rejecting secularism and being quite old-fashioned in a way, keeping it basic. So, Hanukkah, the most ironic Jewish holiday. And hopefully that's been a little bit of light, and I'm really grateful to have gotten to share that with you. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for being with us in this moment now and breaking in the light for us, making it a little bit brighter and bigger. I think before we move to our next music, we need to sing happy birthday to Sarah. Distinct day, all your own, whatever day it may be. Thank you. And now I believe we will be hearing some more music. So welcome, David and Nick.
So this first piece is called Ruch Atet Singt der Tate. It is a Yiddish song about Hanukkah, and it translates to Baruch Atah sings the Father, and he lights the candle, and their light falls softly on his face, and a fire holy and dear shines in his eyes, and the weary one has straightened his arms and legs. And it seems and it appears there is something here. Something has remained to love. Holy is this hour. Old sounds, long gone. No, I hear them still. Sing them, Father, Baruch Atah, and I remain your child. Baruch Atah means, in Hebrew, you are the Creator.
Baruch Atah singt der Tate und erzündet der Licht und die Strahlen milde fallen auf sein blass Gesicht. Und auf Feuer hellig Teil in die Augen leicht und der Milde mit die Glieder hat sich ausgegleicht. Baruch Atah singt der Tate und sind die Licht und die Strahlen milde fallen auf sein blass Gesicht und auf Feuer hellig Teil in die Augen leicht und der Milde mit die Glieder hat sich ausgegleicht. es dacht sich und es tracht sich, sitzt noch etwas da, sitzt geblieben was zu leben, herrlich ist die Show. Alte Klangen, lang vergangen, nein, es klingt noch erzählt, singt Tate, Borate, ich bleib dein Kind.
This next piece is not so much a Hanukkah piece. So surprisingly, as you may notice, there are not a ton of Hanukkah songs. It being a festival that didn't seem to inspire a lot of music. However, like other wonderful Jewish festivals, this piece is Sephardic, and it's from the Mediterranean area, and unlike some of the Sephardic songs and poems it's not from the earlier 15th, 16th centuries, but actually from late 19th century. It's called Cuando el Rey Nimrod, and it speaks about the light, so that's why I felt that it's appropriate. And the translation of the Ladino, which is the Sephardic language that this is sung in, is when King Nimrod went out into the countryside, he was looking at heaven and saw the stars. He saw a holy light in the Jewish quarter, a sign that Abraham, our father, was about to be born. Abraham, our father, beloved father, blessed father, light of Israel. It's quite longer than this, but the version I'm going to sing is abbreviated. Terach's wife, who was pregnant, and each day would ask her, "Why do you look so pale?" She already knew the blessing that she had. We greet now the Godfather and also the Circumciser, because of his merit, Redeemer and Merciful One, God will come to Israel, and of this we will praise the True One. So this is Cuando el Rey Nimrod.
Quando il re Nimrod al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y en la estrella, vino una luz santa en la judería, y a vida de nacer Abraham avinu. Abraham avinu, padre querido, padre que dijo, luz de Israel. Abraham avinu, padre querido, padre que dijo, luz de Israel. La mujer de Tera y fue premiada, de día en día él le preguntaba, ¿de qué tenés la cara tan demudada? Ella ya sabía el bien que tenía. Abraham avinu, padre querido, padre bendijo, luz de Israel. Saludemos al compadre y también al Moel, que por su sehut nos venga el Goel. Y Richma todo Israel, cierto lo arremis al verdadero. Abraham vino que de querido Padre bendijo luz de Israel. Abraham vino Padre querido, Padre bendijo luz de Israel. Abraham vino Padre querido, Padre bendijo luz de Israel. Abraham vino, Padre querido, Padre bendijo luz de Israel.
Bow to you. Bow to all three of you for your gifts tonight. Thank you. Thank you for coming and joining us. There's really no more to say. It's best to leave it in this open space. But I do invite you to come back next week on the solstice when we will be up in the fellowship hall with our labyrinth laid out, and lights and music and readings. And if you are not a person to walk the labyrinth, we will have hand labyrinths that you can just trace with your finger and join in the meditative space. So, if you are watching, we thank you for being here. We thank you for being here. We thank you for what you gave us tonight. Amen.